Okay, today we're going to be running through how to draw up this laser cut box tutorial in Fusion. So the first thing you want to do is open Fusion up so you get a nice blank screen on your page like I've got here. Then you can click on your waffle in the top left hand corner and we're going to create a new project. So we're going to hit new project and we're going to call it box shoot and we'll hit enter. Which will then allow us, once it's spun around and saved to the cloud, hit save over here. We're going to change this one to box shoot, give it a name, shoot, try one. Hit enter, and now we've got the name up here so we know it's being saved constantly to the cloud. We're never going to lose any work. So we'll close down that side pane and we'll start drawing. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to jump up to create a sketch and we're going to click on the front face. Now remember, we've got our cube up here, we've got front, right and top. Those shapes will align to our planes here. So we've got front, the right, that's probably the left actually, to be honest, and then you've got top or the bottom here, depending on how you want to look at it. So we're going to go on the front, so we're going to click here. We're going to hit S. S brings up the sketch shortcuts, which is kind of like Spotlight built into Fusion, and that's going to allow us to actually search for different commands. You can find them up here, but I find this to be a lot easier. So I'm going to go S, and I'm going to go rec for rectangle, and I'm going to go center rectangle, and I'm going to click in the very middle here, and push up and out without clicking. And now I can enter some dimensions. So the height there, I want to go 100, and then I can hit tab to get to the other dimension, and I can type in 70. And that's looking pretty good. And I'm going to hit enter on that. And now I've got a shape. Now with your laser cut boxes, they've actually got what we call finger joints. So joints that interlock with each other to actually give it strength that we glue together. So we need to draw those in now. So to do that, we're only going to draw half of it and actually mirror it. So the very first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to hit L for line. And I'll click on this middle dot here and I'm going to push straight up. And I'm going to turn that into a construction line. So I'm going to click on it and hit X. Okay, L for line, click up, and then X for instruction. Now, we need to draw in these finger joints. So I think the easiest way to do that is I'm going to go to S. I'm going to type in offset, OF. I'm going to click on that. I'm going to click on this side. No, I won't do it that way, sorry. Because that's going to bring everything in, which is not very handy. I'm going to go L for line. I'm going to draw a line that runs from top to bottom, nice and parallel. And you know it's parallel because it'll be exactly 100 millimeters, but also it will snap and make a little square there in the corner. I'm also going to go up here and hit front so that I'm looking at my sketch straight on. Now I want that line that I've just drawn to be exactly 3 millimeters from the edge. So I'm going to hit D for dimension, click, click, push up. Now I'm going to make that 3 for 3 millimeters. Now I need to start drawing in my little lines here. So I'm going to go line across from there to there, across from there to there. I'm going to break this up into 5 segments from there to there, from there to there. Now this is very uneven and wonky. So obviously I can neaten these up again using my dimension tool. So I can hit D for dimension. This one, push out, 20. This one, push out, 20. This one, push out, 20. And this one, push out, and 20. And that last one has to be 20 because we've got 100 here and 420 is 80, and that has to be 20 just due to maths. So now we're looking like we've kind of got the sort of shape that we're looking for. But we need to do some trimming. We need to get rid of some lines that we don't really want. So to do that, we hit the trim, use the trim tool. We can just hit T for that. This little icon will come up next to your cursor, and we can work out what lines we want to get rid of. So I'm going to trim that line out. I'm going to trim. So I'm going to go in. This one's going to come out, and I'm going to trim that one there as well, like that. Like so. Now I want to get these lines over to this side. So what I can do now, so I can make it match on both sides, I can hit S. I type in mirror. Now you get 2 mirrors. You got a 2D and a 3D mirror. The top one here is 2D. And I'm going to select my object. So I'm going to click that line, 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 and that line. So this is what I'm going to move over. And then my mirror line, I'm going to go over here, hit select, and I'm going to, this dotted line I put in the middle, I'm going to hit that one, and now I'm going to hit OK. I've moved all those lines across, which means that I can hit T for trim again, and I can get rid of anything I don't want. So I'm going to get rid of that one, and that one. And now I've got roughly the shape that I need for my first front piece. So what I need to do now is I need to add some thickness. So if I hit Shift and scroll, you can see it's just a flat 2D plane. I want to give that thickness by extruding it. So I hit E for extrude, and I need to select what I want to extrude, my profile. So I want that one to come out, that one, that one, that one, that one, that one, and that one. And I'm going to make that 3mm because we're going to be working with 3mm MDF. And hit enter. And then all of a sudden you've created your very first piece. Just like so. Okay. Now what we're going to do is we're going to, if you do scroll around and you lose anything at any time, like I just did then, getting rid of that email, you can hover back over your cube here and click on the house. And that'll always bring you back to your work. Now the next job is I want to do the next piece that comes around the corner. So to do that, I'm going to hit sketch again. And this time I'm going to select this little rectangle in here. So you can always hover, you can hover over any 2D surface to do a sketch on. I'm going to pick this one here. And it's going to snap round and give me a look at what it is I'm trying to create there. So again, R for rectangle. Again, I'm going to do a 100. So I'll start in that top left-hand corner, and then I'm going to go 70, and I'm going to hit enter. And then if I go shift middle mouse button, you can see where I'm starting to do this second center, or this second side here. So I want to put a center line in. So I'm going to hit L for line. I'm going to snap to the middle. I know I've snapped to the middle because I got that little triangle up here. I'm going to put this center line in again like I did last time. Straight to the bottom, I'll get a square and a triangle to show that it's perpendicular and central. Click on the line, hit X, make it in the middle like that. Now I can do something kind of cool. It'll actually pick up on the geometry that I've already got in the background, which means that I can hit L and I can actually trace using the other points, the bits that I want. So I want a line from there to there, there to there, there to there, go in, back down to here, go in, back down to here, go in, back down to here, and then go down to there. Now I want these once again on the other side over here. Now if you're getting confused by this part that we've already created, you can go over here into the tree and go to bodies, and you can actually turn that off, and that's going to allow you to see your lines if you're getting a bit confused. So sometimes I'll just turn that off so I can see what I've done there. Okay, so let's mirror it across. So we're going to get S for mirror. I'm going to set S for search, sorry, MI for mirror. Do our 2D mirror again, and I want that line, that line, that line, that line, that line, that line. Oh, that line and that line. And then my mirror line, I select this middle line again, and I hit OK. Like so. Now let's turn our body back on so we can kind of see what's going on. I'm now going to extrude and create this part again. So I'm going to hit E for extrude. I've selected that one, and I'm going to grab that one there as well. And I want to pull that out 3mm to create that next part. Now, the trick here is with my extrude, it's going to default to a join operation, but I don't want that. I want separate parts because it's going to be made with separate parts in the laser cutter. So we go to operation, click down here, and we're going to go new body and hit OK. And now you can see I've got in my body section, bodies are kind of like parts. I've got this part here and this one here. And so to make it a little bit easier, this one here, turning on and off, that's the first one I drew. I'm going to call that front, and I'll call this one side. Now, the interesting thing is that now that we've done these two pieces, we actually we don't need to draw the next two pieces because they're just these pieces just put in a different orientation. So we can move them back across. So for example, I can right click on this side piece, right click on it, hit move copy. Come around the side here. I'm going to click create copy down the bottom. And I can click on this arrow here and drag this one out the side like so and hit enter. Now what that will allow me to do is up at assemble here, I can hit joint. So it won't let me joint it until I convert them to components. So what I'll do is I'll convert them to a component. So let's go on this body here. The front, I'm going to right click and go create component from body. And then I'm going to, on the side here, I'm going to right click and go create component from body. And then I'm going to right click and go create component from body. And that just turns them into bodies, into actual components or actual part files. So you can see they've just moved to here, front, side, side. And that means that I can now join them. So I can hit join here. I'm going to hover over this line here in the middle. So I'm going to snap this back section here, so that one there, to this back section there. And that will snap it in place. And I can hit enter like so. Now, if I want to get that back piece or the front piece that I drew and get one on the back as well, I can, on this front one here, I can right click, move copy, and I will pull so right click, move copy, create a copy, pull him out the back somewhere here, hit enter, and I can do the same. So I need to find some edges that I know are going to sit together. So I know that, so I can go back up to joint. I know that the middle of this edge here is going to sit on the middle of this edge out here. And that'll bring it in and snap. And I hit OK. And now I've actually got my 4 individual pieces coming together. And I'm starting to get a 3D view of what it is exactly that I'm trying to create. Now the final part is, on the bottom here, we need to put a base piece in. So we need to actually cut some finger joints in so that that piece is going to sit in there properly. So I'm going to do, I'm going to create a sketch, and I'm going to click on the bottom here. And I'm just going to make a really basic tabbed section for this to actually put a base piece in. So I'm going to just draw a rectangle like so in here. And then I'm going to hit dimension. I'm going to dimension that line out here. And I'm going to make that 20 mil. And then I'm going to dimension this line and push it out and make it 20 mil. And then I'm going to give myself a center point as well because I'm going to show you something else. I'm going to put a line, a guideline across the middle from side to side like this. And I'll snap on that and hit X. And now what I'm going to be able to do is I'm going to be able to extrude this, and I'm going to try and do a circular array so that it takes out of all the pieces. So I'm going to hit E for extrude. And I'm going to go -3. And it will take it out of that piece there. So you can see that I've taken the corner out there. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back to sketches, I'm going to sketches. I'm going to turn my sketch 3 back on because that's the sketch that I drew. And I've got this line here. I'm going to get that to cut out of all the pieces. So I'm going to go S, and I'm going to go circular pattern. And see where it says pattern type, I'm going to go feature, and I'm going to select that extrusion there. My axis is going to be in the middle there, so that's not quite going to work, is it? No, scrap that. We're going to go back, and I'm going to draw them in manually. Okay, so I'm going to go back. I'm going to hit create sketch again. I'm going to jump on the bottom here. And maybe I'm going to go R for rectangle. Draw in a rectangle here. $20 mil, perfect. I'm going to change that one to 20 mil. Then I'm going to go rectangle down here. Draw it in. Dimension. So click that line. Then the outside line. Go 20. Same again, draw the rectangle in. 20. And hit here, and 20. And now I've got those rectangles drawn in, I'm going to extrude them all. So I'm going to go E for extrude. Click that one, that one, that one, and then type in -3. And that's going to do a cut, and we'll hit enter. Now, what I was trying to do before is you can actually do one and then do a circular array and spin it around an axis and cut it all in one hit, but it was going to get quite complicated. So I think sometimes it's easier just to draw them all basically like that. Now we just need to put our base piece in. So same kind of way we did before. We're going to go sketch. We're going to select this bottom rectangle here. And then I'm going to hit R, and I'm going to draw a rectangle in the middle here. And then I'm going to draw a rectangle in all these parts that I cut out. So I'm going to draw one down there, and you'll see it change color when you've got it right. One down there, one down there, one down there. And then if I hit extrude, that one, I can select all these rectangles that I just drew. And then I'm going to go 3, and then I don't want to join, I want to go new body. Hit enter. And now, just to make it line up with everything else, I'm going to create that body. I'm going to create a component from it, and that's the last one I made, so I'm going to call that bottom. And now I've got my 5 sides of my tea light holder. In the next stage, I'll show you how to put some designs and start cutting some holes and doing some things like that to your individual parts. Thank you.